Hey, this is Ryan from 60 Cycle Hum, the Guitar Podcast. Today I'm showing you the TC Electronic Flashback 2, the sequel to their popular delay pedal, the Flashback 1. Go look at it right now. You'll see there's a little dash next to it. This whole time it's been a 1. They were telling us there was going to be a sequel. And here it is. It's got a couple upgrades to it. Most importantly, it has the mash control switch, which is kind of like a built-in expression pedal. It's all pressure sensitive. The harder you press on it, the more it ramps up or down, whatever parameter you have assigned to your delay settings. It's a ton of fun. Let's start checking it out, huh? Right now I've got it on the tape delay setting. Here's my dry signal. I'm using a Mojo Hand Sacred Cow for a little bit of dirt. And here's that tape delay setting. Let's check out that mash. That ain't bad at all. That's a lot of fun. I like to use delays that I can rack the time knob on to get crazy spaceship sounds when I'm playing in my surf rock band. And the fact that I can do that without my hands, without having to bend over, using the Flashback 2 is pretty awesome. I'm really excited to use this pedal live. Of course, you can turn down the level here and get a more subtle effect. Or you could turn up the level, using my foot here, and get a really dramatic effect. It's a lot of fun. So let's check out the various other delay settings, and we'll use the mash here and there to see what is affected by them. Here's the 2290 setting, which I believe references a digital delay chip from one of their early delay pedals. Nice and clear, clean repeats. It's a classic digital delay sound. Let's see what the mash control does. It's a sampler. It's like a hold feature. That's pretty neat. You can do kind of like glitchy little loops with that, ambient, like pads on the fly, and then it lets you play a dry signal over it. Pretty cool stuff. Here's the analog delay sound. It seems to have the mash control connected to the time modulation as well as the amount of repeats. With all TC Electronic pedals, if you get into the TonePrint software, you can assign up to 3 different parameters per each control, and that's the same for mash. So you could get in here and tweak this and add 3 different parameters to that mash control. You could have time repeats going up. You could have tone things going down any direction that you want. You can set the shape of the wave of the control, so it could even be like your high point is in the middle and your low points are on the sides, and vice versa. It's a pretty remarkable system that gives you a ton of control when you plug this into the TonePrint software. All right, let's jump across the tape setting because we already did that. And let's check out this next setting. This is the DYN setting, which I'm assuming means dynamic. So what you'll notice here is that when you're playing, there's no delay signal. It senses you're playing dynamics and it cuts the signal, but it's in there charging those repeats the whole time. And the moment you stop playing, then those repeats come out of the mix and fill out your signal. So interestingly, the mash control is kind of like an on-off with a little bit of a blend in the low pressure area, I think. But basically, if you're pressing the mash, it allows the delay to come through while you are playing. So it disengages that dynamic function. Here's a setting I'm pretty fond of when using the dynamic delay. Basically, it's going to be a really short repeat that comes in the moment I stop playing, and it's like this kind of crazy like splash of quick delays. This is a neat effect. I just love that it chases the tail of whatever you've been playing, and it leaves what you're playing pretty clean. It's just pretty cool. I'm going to use that live. I just know it. I'm going to work it into something. All right, on to the next setting. We've got a lot of ground to cover here. Here is mod delay, which means modulation. It's hard to tell what the mash is doing there. It seems like maybe it's maxing out some kind of mod setting or increasing like a drive on the mod setting. It's very subtle, whatever that mash control is doing at the moment. All right, let's jump to the next setting. This is the crystal setting, CRYS. I'm assuming this is kind of like a shim verb or shim delay, you know, ethereal crystal octaves, you know? That's what it is. The mash control is pretty effective there, bringing in a higher octave, I think, or, you know, a higher level of distortion or whatever, like bit crushing is happening to make that high shimmer sound. Next up, a real classic, the reverse setting. So on the reverse setting, the mash control bleeds out your dry signal, and there's only the reverse sound, which is super useful. If you like to use reverse, it gives you that backwards delay sound that everybody loves. I really like that there are uses for the mash control, which are basically on-off uses, where you're not just like ramping something up and down to make it crazy. It's giving you a secondary option. Really clever stuff on the part of TC Electronic. I'm pretty impressed with this pedal. After that, there's a loop setting. I'm not going to show that off just because I don't want to waste your time. It works fantastic, but it works just like any other looper. So let's not spend any time on it. Next up, I'll check out the 3 included TonePrint settings. Here's your number 1. That's a pretty cool sound. I like that. Seems like it holds your repeats when you're holding down the mash, and then applies some kind of like distortion or lo-fi element to it until it's crushed to this gritty, just nasty sound. That's neat. So far, everything on here is really usable for me. I'd use all this stuff in a set. I'd write songs around it, things like that. Really cool pedal so far. The number 2 setting on the TonePrint. By the way, adding in 2 extra TonePrint slots was a big upgrade to this pedal and also the Hall of Fame reverb too. It really helps you store those, you know, those really fun creations you made in your TonePrint software. And honestly, the stock ones that they load in there are fantastic too. All right, here's number 2. I'm almost afraid to press a mash. I'm not totally sure what the mash is doing there, but this setting sounds crazy. It's like bouncing around little sharp octaves and you know, crystal sounds and whatnot. That's pretty dang cool. Everything on this pedal so far has just really impressed me. Let's check out the final slot. And there's no signal. I'm betting that if I press down the mash, it releases the signal. try bringing the level down a little bit. This is a pretty wild setting. It gets really loud as you put the pressure on that mash control. Lots of like chimey, bright, octavey organ sounds swelling out with that thing. You can ramp it up and down really quick if you want to follow every single note you're playing, or you can make like a momentary pad sound swelling in and out, filling out the empty spaces in your band's mix. Pretty cool stuff. I've been really impressed with every setting on this so far. It's a super usable delay pedal. You plug it into TonePrint software, and there's going to be a million options opened up to you like every other TC Electronic pedal. I'm going to make a video covering that side of it soon. I'm also going to make a video covering the tap tempo side of it. You can't access the tap tempo as it is right now. If you plug an external tap tempo switch into the stereo in jack, then you have tap control with this pedal. So I've ordered a tap button. I'm going to cover that when it shows up. We'll get into those settings. There's a simple subdivision switch on here. I'm sure there's all kinds of settings in the TonePrint software as well. Also, I'll do a video covering the stereo effects. I'll run 2 amps and mic them both up, and we'll get crazy with stereo. So if you want to see all that stuff, please subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.